Good evening. My name is Tom Nugent, and I'm the orchestra and guitar teacher here at Greeley West. And I am extremely excited to be presenting a concert this evening. It has been a year to be sure, and this kind of closes out our week of concerts. We had a fantastic band concert on Tuesday. We had a choir concert last night, and tonight we're going to close things off with a strings concert. And this morning when we had a rehearsal to run through a piece all together for the first time, it really was. It was an emotional thing to have everybody making music together on this stage. It's been nearly 2 years since our Greeley West Orchestra has played on the Greeley West stage. With last year, it's pandemic, and then conflict with the musical the year before that. It's been a while. So, round of applause, we're having a concert in here tonight. So many people to thank, and all of this will kind of go throughout the evening. If we are recording tonight's concert, I want to thank District 6 Media and George Oberleitner for being here and recording, and for all the folks that are watching via live stream. Welcome and thank you for tuning in. We are going to start with our chamber orchestra, or our quarter 3 orchestra. We had them first quarter and third quarter, so we haven't been meeting together. This group has not been meeting together for the last 9 weeks. And in fact, this right now, tonight, is the third time that this entire group has been assembled, because we had the splits during the hybrid learning. We'd have half at home and half in class. So this is the third time ever that this group has played together. And it didn't stop them, though. This group earned a superior rating in the CHASA Large Group Festival Virtual. They practiced, we did lessons, and then we recorded right before the end of the quarter. They got 3 takes and submitted one of them for adjudication. So congratulations to this group. All right, we are going to start with a piece that we worked on back in the fall. It's called Dream Dancing, which is what I told the students is much of what we've been doing this last year feels like just dancing through a dream. So here it is. This is our chamber orchestra doing Dream Dancing. All right, at this time, I'd like to welcome a gentleman who we had the pleasure of having as a student teacher here at Greeley West during the third quarter. Came to us from CU Boulder. Fantastic musician, bass player. May have seen him down in the pit over at Candlelight on occasion. And he was just a joy to work with day in and day out. He had so much to bring to the program and really rehearsed the group for a good chunk of the third quarter. And I want to let him talk a little bit about the piece that they worked on. This is Mr. Christopher Norwood.
Thank you, Mr. Nugent. It was a wonderful opportunity working with Mr. Nugent and being a part of the classroom back in January, February, and March of this year. An even greater opportunity working with all these students that you see on stage today. As you know, we were making music in kind of a smaller setting during that third quarter here. We weren't able to make music with all of the musicians that you see here tonight, all the fantastic musicians, but we made music with the six of us here. And being in that chamber ensemble presented some unique challenges for all of us here. It really increased individual responsibility, and a lot of the students here, or all the students here, really stepped up to the responsibility. They grew as an ensemble, as individuals. They did amazing things with some compositions, and really increased their musical literacy of music history during that time in January, February, and March here. The selection that we're about to play for you, or that these students are about to play for you, is a work called Arrangements from Hamilton, from the Broadway musical. And in that show, if you're familiar with it at all, the protagonist, Alexander Hamilton, has a song called My Shot, where he declares he's not going to kind of let anything stop him, regardless of how tumultuous times may be. And I feel the students in this ensemble really embodied that statement during this third quarter. And without further ado, we're going to play for you that selection from Hamilton right now.
One more round of applause for this group. So much wonderful work that they did. When we were, for most of the year, we kind of focused on three elements, and you'll kind of hear all three of these throughout the night. You guys can have a seat. You can get ready. Kind of three elements throughout the year. We had obviously performance, and all of these are part of the IB curriculum in music, and so we really looked at performance, both as a group and also as soloists working on individual skills and that. And I would like to recognize a couple folks who submitted individual recordings for solo and ensemble, so they can stand and get recognized. We had Ollie Lone. Where's Ollie? There's Ollie. Played a cello solo. And we had we had Dustin. Dustin played superior rating on viola, and so one of the treats we're going to do tonight is have Dustin play for us here. And this is a young man that has been at Greeley West for 4 years. I've had the privilege of working with him since he was in 6th grade. And it's been an incredible honor and pleasure to watch him grow as a musician and earn a superior rating on viola. He switched from violin to viola after his sophomore year, and he is a 4-year participant in orchestra, a wonderful young man, and we're excited to hear him play Allegro by Fiocco. So like I said, I want to recognize our seniors this evening, especially the ones who have been in this program, Dustin, for 4 years. So there's a certificate for being a 4-year participant in orchestra at Greeley West High School. this time, we are going to have the guitar ensemble step to the stage. We have, I want to take a moment really and thank our administration here at Greeley West. We've got Principal Jeff Cranston. We've got our assistant principal who's here this evening, Mr. Aaron Allen. Round of applause for Mr. Allen. He's a fantastic guitar player himself, great all-around musician. And Ms. Amy Zuloff and Mr. Ryan Hilbig. And as an arts teacher during a very difficult time, I really do want to say thank you to our administrative staff for what they've done to not only keep arts going, but growing during a time when it would be very easy to let that slide. And I know I speak on behalf of our entire department when I say thank you. We've grown. We offer many classes beyond just the traditional band, orchestra, and choir, and one of them has been guitar. And so we started this advanced guitar ensemble last year. We're yet to get through an entire year where we have the ensemble all together without scheduling conflicts for cohorting and that. But this group of students here, fantastic, and we've been working on all kinds of different things. This group of students also were willing to jump in. We started a unified music here at Greeley West High School, and it was fantastic. We played boomwhackers. We did different songs. We were doing some writing, doing piano, and all these stuff. And these guys, we did karaoke last Friday, and they played the tunes. We had some sing-along. So really, just a great group of young people to work with. And they've got a couple of pieces here that they're going to play. The first one is an Irish tune titled Planks the Irwin. And in the middle of it, we'll hear a little bit of an Eric Johnson tune that Theo Hirsch is going to kind of throw into the middle of it. So I hope you enjoy this. This is Planks the Irwin with the Greeley West Guitar Ensemble. right, we are now going to do a jazz standard. The funny thing about guitar is guitar, we go a lot of different directions in that class. Some days we want to do jazz, sometimes playing some AC/DC, some days we're playing classical. Guitar is just a fun instrument because there's so many different genres that fit into, and we try to get as much exposure as we can in that class. This one is a tune. We're going to have two seniors, fantastic ladies that you may have heard last night in the choir concert, who this is their first year in guitar ensemble. Cheyenne had played guitar last year in beginning guitar, and Emma jumped straight in this year, hadn't ever taken guitar, played guitar before, and just went right into the ensemble, stuck with it all year. Great attitude from both of these ladies, and I did want to recognize them because they are two seniors tonight. So they're going to sing, because we could use a little singing on this. This is Fly Me to the Moon with the guitar ensemble.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, just kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you.
All right. So, the guitar ensemble, Fun group. We are missing a few, both out of that group and unfortunately out of the orchestra, just with a couple of quarantines. But resilient and every day, always trying to make something happen. Fun group. One more round of applause here for the guitar. So I'm going to welcome up the Sinfonietta Orchestra, Quarter 4 Orchestra, Quarter 2 and Quarter 4. And this group, this is the type of group that I just get excited about. A lot of young enthusiasm, talent, hard work in this group, and the program is looking quite bright. Looking down the road here. We had gotten started in the fall, going pretty well, and then when we had to go completely remote for a little while, this group stuck with it, did some original composition, which was one of the second elements that we've been working on, along with solo performance. And you heard some of the original compositions mixed in as you entered tonight. Those were what was playing. That was a playlist of all student compositions that were written here at Greeley West High School. So to all the artists, both in this group and in the online Music Lab and Technology class, could we get them a round of applause for the music that we were playing here before the class, before the concert. This group is going to do two pieces for you, and then we'll do a couple combined all together. The first piece that we're going to be performing, I will let cellist Victoria Lujan introduce, and then we'll tune and get underway. This is the Sinfonietta Orchestra.
To begin Sinfonietta's concert, I would like to present Vortex by Robert Longfield. It's a whirlwind of rhythms, melodies, and notes. So here we go. Enjoy.
All right. One of the third thing that we've kind of put an emphasis on this year was research, and just kind of really understanding music in its context, music, how it relates to the world, who artists are, has a great impact on their art. And so every student on stage and in the audience has all done, or soon will be doing, a presentation similar to the one you're going to see right now. And the young lady that's going to present is a senior, one of our seniors tonight, so thought it'd be fitting for her to present. It was an outstanding presentation, as you'll see here in a moment. And it also tied in with a piece of music that you will hear immediately after this. So I'm going to go and try to be a reasonable assistant on the computer and turn this over to Eiley Gibson.
So, hi, I'm Eiley, and I'm going to give you all a little lesson, if you will, on Japanese folk music. call Korean folk music, but they're two totally different types of music. If you could go to the next slide. Okay, so minyo is, like I said, refers to both Korean and Japanese folk songs. Japanese folk music has been around since ancient times, however, it received international recognition in the 60s. Different areas of Japan have their own style of songs. So Japan is split into many different prefectures. I would tell you the exact number if I remembered it, but each prefecture has its own style of minyo music. So traditionally, these songs are accompanied by dances that correlate with seasonal activities. Songs and dances are performed to this day at festivals all year round. There's many different festivals in Japan. All right. So how it's written, minyo music is played using a pentatonic scale. So the octave is found every 5 notes as opposed to the 7 we are used to. So our notes we play is A, B, C, D, E, F, G with sharps and flats. In minyo music, we only play 5 of those notes. So the most popular scale used is called the in scale, so if you could play that. Alright, so that is one of the most popular scales used in minyo music. You'll hear it a lot in different songs. So many songs contain the specific phrase that I clipped up there, and it's found in a song called Sakura Sakura, which was written during the Edo period, and it was one of the minyo lullabies I grew up listening to. So you could play that. If you could hear it, that phrase was in that song, in that clip I had you listen to. And Sakura Sakura is also the song that inspires the piece Cynthia will play in a moment. So types of minyo songs is cattle livestock songs, and these songs were used to keep cattle calm when they were transporting them like across a mountain or from one location to another. Which we can't play that one, but in that song they use a type of flute, which has, a really calming sound, so the cattle stay calm. The next song is a fishing song, and this song is not how it would traditionally be played as. This is how it is performed at festivals, so it's a lot more energetic, a lot more accompaniment to it. So we will play that. So that song is usually accompanied by a lot of dancing at festivals. So next song is a song of celebration. This song is played at a festival, and I think this one celebrates the sun goddess. And you can... Sorry. I was just going to say you can only play like 10 seconds of it, it'll be fine. So that song has a lot of percussion in it, and that just keeps the dancers in tempo when they're dancing like up and down streets. So the next one is a lullaby, and Japanese lullabies have a bit of a dark history to them. They were made by handmaidens who were kidnapped from their villages to raise the children of noble families. So a lot of the lullabies are the nursemaids talking about how much they miss their villages and miss their families. So if we could play that one. Or the one above it? Yeah. song, can't listen to it, but it's a kota, which is a song geishas would play. And there's a picture of them underneath it, but geishas play music and sing songs to entertain their guests as they're eating or drinking tea. So you go to the next slide. So these are the type of instruments that are typically used. The shamisen is a long-necked fretless lute that contains 3 silk strings and is played with a plectrum. And the normal tunings is C, F, B flat, C, F, C, or C, G, C. So these are the instrument that geishas would typically use. So the picture is a geisha with the shamisen. So next is the shakuhachi, which is an end-blown bamboo flute with 4 holes. It is deprived from the Chinese instrument jiao in the 8th century. Next is the koto, which is long board zither containing 13 silk strings. This played with an ivory plectrum called misume, and it first appeared in Japanese courts in the 8th century. So it was played a lot for the emperor and other noble houses. Then we have a taiko, the general term for a barrel-shaped drum with lash-attacked heads. These drums come in many different sizes, and the way they are played is a lot like a type of dance. You can play the video if you want. Just do like a few seconds of it. So you can't really see it that very well, but when they play, they're very in sync, and they'll shout at each other when they're changing tempo or changing pop positions or something like that, so they keep in, aligned with each other. So next slide. So minyo is dances. Japan considers itself to be the land where the sun originates from, so a lot of their dances surround the idea that Japan is the origin of the sun. Then evidence of dances such as harvest dances for the sun has gone back to 300 AD. And Japan went through a period of isolation from 1500 to 1868. And during this period of isolation, we were cut off entirely from the rest of the world. Their dancing became a vital part of their rituals and religion. So here are the different types of dances. There's a kagura dance, which is a dance for the sun. There's a bugaku dance, which are court dances that tell stories of legends and myths. Sengaku dance, which is a traditional theater and performance dance. Once again, they tell stories as well. And there's odori dances, which are performed at different festivals. And different regions have their own version of the odori dance. So in the pictures, the two on the very top are 2 different odori dances from 2 different regions. However, they both have these like cone-shaped hats, and they'll dance in like single file lines. Then there's a kagura dance, which is like a performance that tells a story, so they wear costumes. Same with the bugaku dance. The sangaku dance is a little more formal than the previous 2, but they still tell stories through their dance. And then the bottom one is a fishing dance that my mom did with her students, so I just threw that in there. So next slide. So notable minyo artists. The most well-known minyo album is Folk Songs from Japan, Takarashi Yujiro and Friends. It was released in 1999, and it contains minyo songs that were performed in a very historically accurate manner. And then there's the Minyo Crusaders, which create minyo music combined with Latin, African, and Caribbean themes. So they rework traditional music to appeal to the younger audience. And one of their songs I can play is called Aizu Bendejo, which is a combination of minyo music and I believe Caribbean. The guy's vocals in that song probably sound strange to all of you, but that's how a lot of minyo music, the way they would sing their music. So yeah, that's the
Another round of applause here for Eiley. Really, these presentations, they've been, I do find it regular, actually, that I learn something from my students. But with all of these presentations, from everything from minyo folk music to, we heard one just on Wednesday about Norwegian folk music. And so all of these different genres all over the world that students are interested in and researching about it, it's been really quite enlightening. And we'll have some of their presentations available on the website, that, frankly, is a resource if anybody's interested, because they really did a fantastic job. So, without further ado, the Sinfonietta is now going to play a fantasy on a Japanese folk song, Sakura Sakura, which is a lullaby. This time I'd like to welcome the rest of the orchestra folks to come up. And we're going to have another senior perform. This is a young man that I've had the privilege of working with for a long time. And though I can take no credit for what he's about to show you. He is a fantastic musician, and he's been a treasure here at Greeley West over the last 4 years, both in orchestra, jazz band, if you heard him the other night, academically. All these students are just fantastic to work with. And one of my earliest memories of Liam, I was teaching music at Union Colony Children's Music Academy over 23rd, and I was teaching strings, and we had a little recital, and I don't know, Liam must have been 8, maybe, and gets up there, and we had our violin recital, and then the guitars got up and played, and then here comes Liam with he's got his amp, and he plugs in, and I was sitting there going, man, this kid he's getting after it here a little bit. Well, got to know him, and have just been able to have a front row seat to watch him become something. And so I told him, you just do something, and so that's what he's going to do. He's going to do something. I'm going to go sit and think of him a while ago. Have fun. One more round of applause. All right. This time we're going to perform a piece that this morning got me a little emotional when we were able to rehearse all together and make a powerful sound here on the stage for the first time this year. This is a fiddle tune called Blue Fire Fiddler, and hope you enjoy it. This will have all the orchestra members in it. Blue Fire Fiddler.
Hello, I'm Aaron Allen, assistant principal here at Greeley West. And I always like to come up towards the end of the concert and just recognize how amazing our department is. And along with our performances being put on hold for about a year, we've also had our announcements been put on a year for a hold, and there's a really important one, and that is that previously Mr. Nugent was split between two buildings, but now he is a full-time Spartan, and we are so happy to have him. And we've had him that way for 8.5 months, and you can see he does great things with our students. I also want to make one more important announcement. We have Miss Slaughter right here in the building. She is also going to be full-time starting next year, so we are growing and growing here at Greeley West. And of course, we already have a wonderful full-time band teacher, Mr. Arthur, and Miss Freemole is in the back. She runs our theater program. She's also full-time, so we've got quite a crew here. And Mr. Nugent mentioned that that the administration is really supportive of him in the department, but I just wanted to note that what happens is that Mr. Nugent walks up and he says, "Hey, I'd really like to start a new tech class." And then we go, "Yeah, that sounds great. We'd love to do that." And then he says, "Hey, I'd like to start a guitar orchestra." We're like, yeah, that sounds great too. And then he's like, "I want to do a unified class." Okay, that sounds great. And then he came and he said, "You know what? I want to offer more advanced pathways for our students." And so now we're going to have one of our pathways is the IB pathway, and we're going to have it in band, in choir, in orchestra, in music tech. It's going to be everywhere. So it just allows our students to go even further, and you can see some of the research that happened that he's even preparing for it right now. And then, as we all know, we're going to have a state-of-the-art facility starting in just a little over a year from now, and we are super excited about that. So finally, just a big thank you to Mr. Nugent and to Mr. Norwood, who was part of our program this year. And just a big round of applause for our students and our entire department. So thanks for coming out.
Thank you, Mr. Allen. Round of applause again for Mr. Allen and the rest of the admin team. I do want to echo, Mr. Allen said, such a joy to work here with great colleagues. We have Mrs. Slaughter, Mr. Arthur, and Mrs. Freemole here in the performing arts, but it really is a joy to come to work here every day. And we are going to do one more piece, but before we do that, I do want to recognize a couple of individual awards. Stand when I call their name. We had 4 students who participated in the virtual all-state orchestra experience this year. So what they did was they submitted an audition, and then they went to a master class and they took a lesson with a professor from either CSU or UNC. And so those students who did that was Mr. Ali Lone here on cello, on bass, Jose Aguina Martinez, on bass, Liam Garcia, and on viola, Dustin Grice. Round of applause for all 4 of them. And then from that, the professors selected the top players from around the state to round out the all-state orchestra. And we had 2 members from our orchestra that were selected to the Colorado All-State Orchestra. Down there in the bass section, Mr. Liam Garcia and Jose Aguina Martinez. I also want to recognize some students who lettered in orchestra. To letter in orchestra, you have to go above and beyond kind of just being in the class, which was tough this year. We didn't have a lot of performance opportunities, although these students found them. We had students, Jose and Theo over there, performing down at the vaccine clinic for people as they receive their vaccines, putting music in there and trying to bring some joy. So they were doing things like that, taking private lessons, auditioning for honor groups, those type of things. And these students have lettered in orchestra. So I'll have them come forward. We had Eiley Gibson. Ali Lone. Jose Aguina Martinez. Dustin Grease. Somehow I may have dropped his certificate, but Mr. Liam Garcia. I did want to give two more awards, and these awards are for individuals who set the tone. They set the tone day in and day out, and like Mr. Allen said, I've spent a great number of years here, both at Greeley West and at Chapelot, and I've had the privilege of teaching all three of these seniors that are in orchestra. And even seeing Emma, when she was at Chapelot, no, not Chapelot, you weren't at Chapelot. Take that back. Just at Greeley West. But these three I have had in class since Eiley was in 5th grade and 6th grade for the other two. And they've set the tone day in and day out. But these awards here are for, the first one is Outstanding Musician. And I don't know that it's any surprise, but he's been in all-state orchestra for the last 3 years, which is no easy feat. You can only be in, you're only eligible as a sophomore. So he was in all 3 years. He was in all-state jazz band for 2 years. You heard him play. He makes other people better. I don't think it's an accident that another bass player was an all-state bassist this year. He's an outstanding musician in every sense of the word. That's Liam Garcia. The other award is a director's award, and this is just a student, not always necessarily the best musician, although this student certainly is. But this is what I set the bar for an orchestra student, somebody that everybody can look up to, somebody that is able to help. This student is absolutely able to do that in her own way. She has done it every year, very quietly, very methodically, very intelligently, carries above a 4.0 GPA. You heard her, the way that the thoroughness in her presentation, and that was no exception to the work that she does day in and day out, and that's Eiley Gibson. All right. Well, without too much more talking, we're going to perform a tune that became a bit of a sensation there on TikTok during this quarantine, and so I try to be relevant as much as I can. And this is a little tune called The Wellerman. So enjoy. This is combined all of our strings. All right, at this time, I'd like for everybody except the seniors to have a seat. I do want to talk to you about them. You've seen all of them this evening, which is good for the program long term here in the sense that we don't have a lot of seniors graduating. But it also is tough on the program. It's tough on the program of what we're losing, as you saw tonight. These two, such positivity and wonderful attitudes and willingness to try new things. Emma and Cheyenne, and just got to know them this year, but it's been a privilege to work with both of them. So round of applause for Cheyenne Landers and Emma Whitaker. And then these three, again, I gave Dustin his certificate, I think, a little prematurely. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess it's been a while since we had a concert. These three have been in the string program for 4 years at Greeley West. As I said, I've had the privilege of teaching all of them for the last 7 or 8 years. And I try not to get emotional, but I couldn't ask for a better trio. When these three were sophomores, we had gone to Winter Park on the Ski and Music Festival, earned a superior rating. That orchestra was named the best in class for 5A that year, and I was really excited about what this group was going to bring for the next 2 years. And what it brought was some challenges that I'm not sure, not everybody could have risen to what they did. To play, to have a positive attitude, to have a great outlook on where they're going, And it's been a privilege and an honor to work with all three of you. And I give you your certificate. I'm going to give Eiley Gibson, Dustin Grace, and Liam Garcia for your participation in orchestra, and a big round of applause. So this time we're going to do a little slideshow, and then once that's done, that'll be the end of the evening. Thank you all for coming out this evening. I do want to announce that we do have a boosters meeting, a virtual boosters meeting coming up on Monday, the 17th, and we will be looking for a couple of folks to step into some leadership roles. And so if you are interested, and even if you're not really interested, but you know, might be able to be convinced. We would love for you to be a part of that group. So thank you, and enjoy the slideshow. And we hope to see you back in the fall for a full year of concerts.
Okay, so oh gosh, traditionally seniors like give Mr. Nugent. Thank you. Traditionally, seniors give Mr. Nugent a gift at the concert. This year was really weird, but I wanted to keep up that tradition. So this is for you. It's wrapped up to protect it, but it's a painting I did. Because I didn't really know what to get you. So I was like, I'll make a painting for you. You can also use that, yeah. It's like Christmas. Sorry. So yeah, and it has like yeah, and it has a quote on it that you said a couple of years ago that I really liked. It says, "Orchestra is just this oasis of awesomeness in the middle of a jungle." Tom Nugent.
Put that on display. Eiley really is an incredible artist. If you haven't gotten to see some of her art, she won the Colorado Association of School Boards scholarship for her artwork. Thank you. And thank you to the seniors. Enjoy the slideshow.